Dear students, welcome to the part 2 of your probability chapter, module 5 of additional mathematics 2. In part 1, we studied some basic set theory definitions and also the classical definition of probability and worked out some simple problems. Okay. Today, we will go to the next form of definition, which is called as axiomatic definition. Okay, this is just review of your definition which you have studied in the last part. Okay, once again I am giving you because we are using this definition again. What is the definition? If there are totally n outcomes, out of n, if m are favorable to occurrence of an event A, then probability of A is given by m by n. Okay, so just to remember this formula, I have given this formula again. Now we shall go to the axiomatic definition. Axiomatic definition is actually given in the form of three axioms. We say that a term P of A is probability if that P of A satisfies these conditions, which is the first condition, which is called as axiom 1. For any event A, probability of A is always greater than or equal to 0. That means probability is never negative. Remember this first axiom, always probability is greater than or equal to 0. And second axiom, if S is the sample space, once again recall what is the definition of sample space? Sample space contains all possible outcomes. It is just like a universal set of your set theory. Okay. So, if S is the sample space, then probability of S is always equal to 1, sure event. Third axiom says that if A intersection B is null set, that means if intersection is null set means A and B are disjoint. If A and B are disjoint, then probability of A union B is given by probability of A plus probability of B. So we are repeatedly using this formula. Remember this axiom 3. If A and B are disjoint or mutually exclusive, then probability of A union B equal to probability of A plus just sum of the probabilities. Okay. Remember these three. The possible question is give the axiomatic definition of probability. In that case, all the three axioms you have to write. Next, we have a problem, simple problem. Prove the following. 1 minute. Okay. Prove the following. Probability of phi equal to 0. Probability of A complement equal to 1 minus probability of A. Okay. So, very simple results, but they asked proof. So, we will start from consider the event S union phi. S union phi. Okay, we are trying to use this third axiom, probability of A union B. To use this third axiom, we need to write an event in the form of union. So I am writing S union phi. Now, since S and phi are disjoint sets, that means their intersection is null set. Remember, intersection of any event with the null set is always null set. Okay. So, since these are mutually disjoint, from axiom 3, by axiom 3, we have P of S union phi equal to P of S plus P of phi. Recall the axiom 3 again. P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B. So, you get P of S union phi equal to P of S plus P of phi. But what is S union phi? S union phi is nothing but S itself. Union of any set with the null set is the same set S. And right hand side is written as it is P of S plus P of phi. Now you can see P of S is present on both sides. Correct? So either you can cancel P of S or you shift this P of S to left side. You get P of S minus P of S equal to P of phi. Clearly 0 equal to P of phi. So we proved the first result. P of phi equal to 0. How to prove the second result? P of A complement equal to 1 minus P of A. I think you know, remember the definition of A complement. A complement means the elements which are not in A, the remaining elements of the sample space we write as A complement. Elements which are not in A but in the sample space. Now here we consider once again to use the axiom 3, we need union of two events. So we write union of A and A complement. Remember, for A complement either we put a bar or we write AC, prefix C. Okay, both notations are applicable. Here I used C, it is nothing but bar. So consider A union A complement. Now A and A complement are disjoint. So you can use axiom 3. By axiom 3, probability of A union A complement is same as probability of A plus probability of A complement. So remember, you can use axiom 3 only if two events are disjoint. Now A union A complement is nothing but sample space. You can recall the Venn diagram. A means elements inside A complements means elements outside A. When you take union, clearly it gives you the full universal set, sample space. So P of S equal to P of A plus P of A complement. But what is P of S? Your axiom 2 now. Refer axiom 2. P of S is equal to 1. So this answer is 1 by axiom 2. And right hand side I have written as it is. Now rearrange the terms. When you rearrange these terms, you get shift this P of A to left side. 1 minus P of A equal to P of A complement. So the second result is proved. Okay, in one question paper, I don't remember the particular year, they asked these two results, the proof of these two results. So I have not mentioned here the year, but in one question paper, these two results are asked. Very simple results. So we are making use of only axiom 3. And remember, to use axiom 3, we need to write the set as union of two disjoint sets. So next we shall study a very important result which is called as addition theorem. So the theorem states that if A and B are any two events of the sample space S which are not mutually exclusive, then P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. A repeatedly asked questions in many of the old question papers. Okay, very important result. If A and B are mutually exclusive, directly P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B by axiom 3. But if A and B are not mutually exclusive, then how to find the probability of A union B? This is the formula. P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. The name of the theorem is addition theorem of probability. So sometimes they may ask you only the name with the proof. That means state addition theorem of probability and prove it. In that case, even statement also you have to remember. Here I have given it as a problem or example, but actually it is a theorem. How to prove this? We make use of Venn diagram here. Now take the sample space S, set of all outcomes, and two events A and B are events of the sample space. That means subsets of the sample space. So I am taking event A as one subset, event B as another subset. Then see the regions here. Okay, this region, it is inside A but outside B. This region. Okay, elements which are inside A but not in B. It is nothing but A minus B. Okay, already I gave you the definition of this in my previous part. So A minus B, or we also write it as A intersection B complement. That means this region is common to A and not common to B. That means A intersection B complement. And this region, it is common to both A and B. So its notation is A intersection B. And this region, white colored region, it is common to B and not common to A, outside A. That means it is A complement intersection B. Not in A means A complement, in B means B. So A complement intersection B. So what we have done here, we have divided the region inside A and B into three sets. One is A intersection B complement, second one is A intersection B, and third one is A complement intersection B. Now from this Venn diagram, you can say that this region A is union of these two regions, correct? So how to write A? A can be written as, this full set A can be written as this region, that means A intersection B complement, union this region A intersection B. So it is written here. A intersection B complement is written as A is written as A intersection B complement union A intersection B. Now whether these two are mutually exclusive, that means disjoint, yes. From the Venn diagram itself it is clear, they do not have any common elements. So if these two sets are disjoint, then you can make use of axiom 3 and write probability of this as sum of the probabilities. So now I am taking probability on both sides. So your left hand side, probability of A equal to, right hand side is sum of two probabilities by axiom 3. P of A intersection B complement plus P of A intersection B. Now these two are disjoint, that is the reason for using axiom 3. Now rearrange the terms in this equation. We can write P of A intersection B complement equal to P of A minus, this is shifted to left side, P of A minus P of A intersection B. Take it as equation 1. I am writing this equation inside the box because it is important to remember this formula. So remember this, for problems we need this formula. Take it as equation 1. Same method, now we consider the set B, this set. Now this set B can be written as union of this region and this region. Which is this region? A intersection B. And which is this region? A complement intersection B. So B equal to A intersection B union A complement intersection B. And these two regions do not have any common elements. They are disjoint regions. So you can write B equal to union of these two. Take probability on both sides. So this probability is equal to sum of two probabilities by axiom 3. Why? Because these two are disjoint. They do not have any common elements. You can easily understand this by referring the Venn diagram. Now rearrange the terms. From this you can write P of A complement intersection B equal to, shift this to left side. You get P of B minus P of A intersection B. This is equation 2. Remember these two formulae. For problems we need this. Now consider the full region inside A and B. That means A union B. A union B means union of these three regions. This region and this region. So which is first region? A intersection B complement. Second region, A intersection B. Third region, A complement intersection B. So I am writing now A union B as intersection of these three regions which are disjoint. They do not have any common elements. So A union B equal to first region A intersection B complement union A intersection B union A complement intersection B. So refer the Venn diagram so you can easily understand this. Take probability on both sides. P of A union B equal to probability of this. Since these are disjoint, you can write probability of union as sum of the probabilities. It is by axiom 3. All the three regions are disjoint. It is clear from the Venn diagram. So I am just adding the probabilities. And for this, you have the formula 1. For this term, use formula 1. What is formula 1? P of A intersection B complement equal to P of A minus P of A intersection B. Substitute. And P of A intersection B I have written as it is. Third term, for this I am using equation 2. This equation. P of A complement intersection B is P of B minus P of A intersection B. Okay. Now add all the terms. You have one P of A term, one P of B term, and remaining three terms. Among them, one negative term cancels with one positive term. Remaining is only one negative term. Okay, so we proved P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. A very simple result. Proof is easy to understand. Remember the Venn diagram, and after drawing the Venn diagram only you can proceed. Very important result. Now the same addition theorem we can extend it to three events. Okay. For any three arbitrary events ABC, prove that P of A union B union is equal to P of A plus P of B plus P of C minus P of A intersection B minus P of B intersection C minus P of A intersection C plus P of A intersection B intersection C. Again, they may ask you the proof of this result. This is called as addition theorem of three events. How to remember the result? First you take only single events A, B, C, write the probabilities. Then take two events at a time, A with B, B with C and A with C. Write their probabilities with the negative sign. Okay. Then take three events. Three events means A with B with C. Write the positive sign. So alternately we write positive and negative sign. For single events positive sign. For two events taken at a time negative sign. For three events positive sign. Okay. How to prove this? To prove this, we make use of the addition theorem for two events which we already proved it. Now start from P of A union B union C, left hand side. Okay. Take this as union of two events. I am taking this A union B as a single event. Okay. I have taken a bracket around this. This is a single event. Union C. So treat this as union of two events. This is single event and this is second event. So what is the probability of union of two events? Formula, addition theorem. Probability of first event plus probability of second event minus probability of intersection of these two events. That means A union B intersection C. So we are using addition theorem of two events here, treating A union B as single event. Now expand again. Now this P of A union B, again it is union of two events. Write it as P of first event A plus P of second event B minus P of intersection of these two events A intersection B plus this P of C I have written as it is, and here first I am using the distributive property. Okay, I have given the distributive property in the last part, just go through it. How to write A union B intersection C or C intersection A union B. Distribute it. We can write it as C intersection A union C intersection B. I have written here A intersection C union B intersection C. C is common. C intersection A is taken and then C intersection B is taken. Okay. Union of these two. Once again this is union of two events now. Apply the addition theorem for two events. So first four terms I have written as it is. First four terms, and here I am using the addition theorem. What is the rule? Probability of first event plus probability of second event minus probability of first event intersection second event. A intersection C intersection B intersection C. So in your intersection C appears twice, but C intersection C is C itself, no need to write twice. So this intersection becomes only A intersection B intersection C. Okay. Now just rearrange and check it. It is nothing but this right hand side. Just rearrange these terms and check it. Okay. I have given the rearrangement of the terms. Directly I have given you the answer. So simple to prove. Just remember the addition theorem for two events. And we are using that taking A union B as a single event. Proof is important. Now I am just giving you some of the notations. Sometimes they may ask you the question in statement form. You should know what is the equivalent notation. So I am just giving you the notation. What is the probability of complement of an event occurs if the question is asked like that? What is the notation for a complement of A bar or AC? And sample space notation all of you know. I have just given it here again. S. At least one of the events A or B occurs means A union B is the notation. Remember, out of two events A and B, at least one event occurs means A union B. Both events A and B occur. Both means intersection, common. At least one means or union. So or means union and means intersection. Neither A nor B occurs means A does not occur as well as B does not occur. Neither A nor B. So meaning is A does not occur and intersection B does not occur. A bar intersection B bar. Or you can write A complement intersection B complement. Remember the notations. Event A occurs and B does not occur. What is the meaning? A occurs means A and intersection B does not occur, B complement. Exactly one of the events A or B occurs. Exactly one event occurs means either only B occurs. See the notation. A does not occur, A complement and B. That means only B occurs. Or union, only A occurs. A and B does not occur. So this is the notation for exactly one of the events A or B occurs. Remember the notation. Either only B occurs, A does not occur, or only A occurs, B does not occur. Not more than one of the events A or B occurs. Okay. Not more than one of the events A or B occurs means either only one event occurs, not more than one means less than one. Less than or equal to 1. Less than or equal to 1 means either only 1 or 0. So only 1 means these two events. A intersection B complement union A complement intersection B. 0 means neither. This notation. Neither A nor B occurs. So both are included here. This is union, not U. Union notation. So this is the notation for not more than one of the events occurs. Event A and B are mutually exclusive means they are disjoint. Intersection is null set. So remember the notations. When statements are given, you should know how to give the notations. So if you have understood this, you can work out some problems using these notations. One more notation type I am giving you when three events are there. A, B, C. Okay, out of three events, only A occurs means A intersection B complement intersection C complement. Okay, only A occurs. That means B and C does not occur. B complement and C complement. Both A and B occur, but not C. But not C. What's the meaning? A and B are there. A intersection B, intersection C complement. All the three events occur. That means intersection of all the three. At least one occurs. At least one means either A occurs or B occurs or C occurs, or it is union. A union, B union, C. At least two occur. At least two occur means least value is 2. 2 occur or more than 2 occur. That's the meaning. At least 2. 2 occur means either A and B occur, C does not occur, or A and C occur, B does not occur. See the notation, B complement. Or B and C occur, A does not occur. And B and C. Here we use intersection, don't confuse. And outside, when you use or, we use union. And here all the three occur. At least two means either exactly two, these three cases, or all three. Okay. One and no more occurs. That means only one occurs. One and no more than one, meaning only one occurs. Only one means exactly one. That means only A occurs, B and C does not occur. A occurs and B does not occur and C does not occur. Or here only B occurs, A and C does not occur. Or here only C occurs, A and B does not occur. 2 and no more than 2 occur. What's the meaning? 2 and no more than 2 occur. That means exactly 2 occur. Exactly 2 means A and B. Okay, meaning is exactly 2 here. A and B, not C. Or B and C, not A. Or A and C, not B. None occurs. Probability that none of the events occur. That means A complement intersection B complement intersection C complement. We can also write using De Morgan's rule. I have given it in the last part. Go through that result. Using De Morgan's law, intersection of the complements. This is intersection. Intersection of the complements can be written as complement of the union. Remember the rule. Sometimes we need to use this formula instead of direct formula. So remember these notations. I just wanted to give you the notations so that you can understand the problems easily. Now I am just giving you one problem. If two dice are thrown, what is the probability that sum is greater than 8? Neither 7 nor 11. An even number on the first die or a total of 8. Okay. Now what you have to do? Two dice are thrown. Your first work is writing the sample space. Write the sample space. You know how to write the sample space now. There are 36 outcomes. When you throw a die twice, okay, two dice once. So this is first outcome in the first die and this is outcome in the second die. Like this, when you list all the possibilities, you get 36 possibilities. Okay. Now go to the first event. What is the event? Sum is greater than 8. So take A equal to event, sum is greater than 8. So for out of these 36 events, for which of the outcomes you get sum of two entries equal to greater than 8? List them. I have written the possibilities here. The favorable cases to get sum greater than 8 are, I have listed all the possibilities. From each row you carefully select the entries. 6 plus 3, sum is 9. So clearly sum is greater than 8. 5 plus 4, sum is 9. Like this, all possible summations are taken more than 8. How many such cases are there? Count and write. You have 10 possibilities. So favorable cases are 10. Total cases are 36. Probability is 10 by 36. This is similar to your problem which we have worked out in our previous part. Second question. What is the second question? Neither 7 nor 11. What does it mean? Neither A nor B means actually it is A complement intersection B complement. I gave you the notation already. Just go through the notations again. So first you take A and B. What is A? Take A equal to getting sum equal to 7 and take B equal to getting the sum equal to 11. So which are the elements of A? I have selected the elements from the sample space for which sum equal to 7. These are the elements. Okay, carefully select the elements. And what is the probability of A now? 6 out of totally how many outcomes? 6 favorable cases out of total 36 outcomes. And B equal to, what is the B? Sum equal to 11. So only these two possibilities. 5, 6 and 6, 5. And what is the probability of B? Favorable cases divided by total cases. You get 2 by 36. Hence required probability is probability of neither 7 nor 11. This is the notation. P of A complement intersection B complement. And what is the equivalent formula for A complement intersection B complement? It is P of A union B whole complement. Okay, you extend this. Only here it is given complement. Extend this to full set A union B. So A union B whole complement. Write it correctly. A union B whole complement. This is probability of complementary event. You already studied probability of complementary event equal to 1 minus probability of the event. So we write this formula. And how to write this? P of A union B, you have addition theorem for two events or axiom 2. Sorry, axiom 3. So which result you have to use here? Check whether A and B are mutually exclusive. Just check the elements of A and B, whether they have common elements? No. So A and B are mutually exclusive. They don't have common elements. So you can directly use axiom 3. So no need to use addition theorem. Even if you use addition theorem, that probability of A intersection B becomes 0. You get only two terms. Substitute. P of A is known, P of B is known. Substitute. You get the answer 7 by 9. Third sub question. What is the question? Question. Probability that an even number on the first die or a total of 8. So you decide one event as even number on first die and second event as total equal to 8. A and B. Or if you have confusion, you can take the events as C and D. Okay. So I am using A and B here again. Let A be the event of getting an even number on the first die. List which are the elements of A. I have listed. Even number on first die means second row of your sample space 21 to 26 or fourth row of the sample space. Refer your sample space again, and sixth row of the sample space. In each possibility, first outcome is even number. Okay, so totally how many? 18 outcomes favorable to A. So clearly probability of event A equal to 18 by 36. And what is the event B now? Event B equal to sum equal to 8. Okay, take and event B be the event of getting sum equal to 8. Sum equal to 8 in which of the cases? 2, 6, 3, 5, 4, 4, 5, 3, 6, 2. You can check the sample space. Only for these events you get sum equal to 8. So how many elements? 5. Probability, number of elements. This notation is for number of elements. Okay. Number of elements in B equal to 5. And do you have common elements between these two? Yes. A intersection B in both these three elements are common. Just check both sets. That means number of elements in A intersection B is 3. What is the probability required? Probability of getting even number on the first die or getting sum of 8. So or means we take union. P of A union B. Formula is addition rule of probability. P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Here A and B are not disjoint. They have common elements. So you cannot use axiom 3. You have to use addition theorem. Substitute in the addition theorem. All the three terms are known. Substitute and calculate. You get the answer 5 by 9. A very good question in which we are using axiom 3 as well as addition theorem. So you have to decide whether to use axiom 3 or addition theorem. If common elements are not there means you can directly write only these two terms. This will be 0. Next question. A bag contains 8 white and 6 red balls. Find the probability of drawing 2 balls of same color. Okay, a bag is there in which there are 8 white balls and 6 red balls. So together 8 plus 6 means 14 balls. Similar problem is worked out in the previous part. So what is your work? You have to select 2 balls, drawing 2 balls. In how many ways you can select 2 balls out of 14 balls? In 14 C2 ways. Okay. So total possibilities, denominator of your probability is 14 C2. 14 C2. You can calculate this 14 C2. And here 2 white balls out of 8 can be drawn in 8 C2 ways. 2 white balls. So you can, if you want, you can name the event as A. Let A equal to 2 white balls are drawn. In how many ways you can select 2 white balls? Totally there are 8 white balls. So 8 C2 ways. So probability of drawing 2 white balls is 8 C2 by denominator total events 14 C2. Calculate and write. Similarly, take event B as second event as drawing 2 red balls. How many ways you can select 2 red balls? Totally there are 6 red balls. So 6 C2 ways. So divided by total cases is same 14 C2. Calculate. You get the answer. Then probability of drawing 2 balls of same color means either both balls are white or both balls are red. It is actually in the form A union B. Or means union. But in this case, if both are red, they cannot be white. So there is no common region. Intersection is null set. You can directly use the third axiom. Just add the probabilities. There is no intersection because your balls are of different color. If you are selecting 2 balls of red, they cannot be 2 balls of white. Both cannot occur together. So answer is just by adding the probabilities, you get 43 by 91. So here we make use of the combinations, drawing or selecting. Whenever selection comes in your problem, we use combinations. Next question, a very good question for your practice, selected from your old question papers, diploma old question papers only. Find P of A, P of B and P of A intersection B complement if A and B are events with P of A union B equal to 7 by 8, P of A intersection B equal to 1 by 4 and P of A complement equal to 5 by 8. So three terms are given, three probabilities are given, and they asked you to find three more probabilities. So what you can do, first write the probabilities which are given, three probabilities. Now what is the first question? P of A. P of A complement is given to you. How to find P of A? You can easily find P of A equal to 1 minus P of A complement. 1 minus 5 by 8 is given, substitute. You get the answer 3 by 8. Next question, P of B. You have P of A union B, P of A intersection B and P of A. So which is the relation connecting these terms? It is nothing but addition theorem of probability. Write the theorem. P of A union B equal to P of A plus P of B minus P of A intersection B. Addition theorem. Now which are the terms known in this? P of B is unknown. P of B is unknown. Remaining terms are known. So you rearrange the equation so as to get P of B. So keep P of B here itself. Shift this P of A to other side. Shift this minus P of A intersection B to other side. You get this. P of A union B minus P of B plus P of A intersection B. Now all the three terms are known. Substitute. P of A intersection B is actually 1 by 4. Okay. Okay. 7 by 8 minus 3 by 8 plus 1 by 4 equal to. There should be equal to sign here. When you add these three terms, answer is 3 by 4. Correct this. Equal to sign is missing here. Addition of these three terms equal to 3 by 4. So correct this. 3 equal to 3 by 4. Answer is 3 by 4. Third question, P of A intersection B complement. For this you have a formula. While deriving the addition theorem of probability, we obtained this formula. I told you to remember the formula. You obtained two equations, equation 1 and equation 2 in addition theorem of probability. Once again refer those two formulae. P of A intersection B complement is actually probability of region inside A but outside B. For that region, this is the formula. P of A minus P of A intersection B. Substitute. You have the values. Substitute and calculate. Answer is 1 by 8. So we answered all the three questions. P of A is obtained. P of B is obtained. Which is answer is 3 by 4. And P of A intersection B complement is 1 by 8. One more problem of same type. A, B, C are three events such that P of A equal to P of B equal to P of C equal to 1 by 4. Three probabilities are equal. P of A intersection B equal to P of B intersection C equal to 0. P of A intersection C equal to 1 by 8. Find the probability that at least one of the events A, B, C occurs. What is the meaning of at least one? I gave you the notations already. Once again refer the notations. Out of three events, at least one of the event occurs means it is A union B union C. Okay, this is the required probability. Okay, P of A union B union C. Write the formula. You have the formula addition theorem for three events. Write down the formula. Which of the terms are known? These three terms are given. P of A plus P of B plus P of C. 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4. You get 3 by 4. Okay. Sum of these three terms equal to 3 by 4. And P of A intersection B and P of B intersection C are 0. These two terms are 0. And P of C intersection A is 1 by 8. This term is minus P of C intersection A is minus 1 by 8. And P of A intersection B intersection C, it is not given, but it is understood. When A intersection B is 0 probability, that means this set is null set. When A intersection B is null set, that null set intersection C is again null set. Clearly this probability is also 0. So they have not given, but making use of the idea of null set intersection any set is again null set, we get the answer 0. So this answer is also not written here. Only you have these three terms. P of A plus P of B plus P of C, and only this term, P of C intersection A. Substitute and calculate. Answer is 5 by 8. A simple question, and working out this type of questions only you can remember the addition theorem and resulting results properly. So today I will stop here. In the next class, we will study about conditional probability and work out some simple problems under conditional probability. Thank you.